Саламатсыздар ма, құрметті ханымдар мен мырзалар. Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first Green Hydrogen Forum of Kazakhstan. My name is Azamat Kuzhanov. I'm a managing director at national company Kazakh Invest. And at the same time, I'm the head of the investment task force under the government of the Republic of Kazakhstan that was established between Ministry of Foreign Affairs and AIC. Our team was founded in 2022-21, and we have two mandates. One is to facilitate FDI, with a focus on major private equity deals. Second one is developing new industrial opportunities, generating and structuring new deals or industrial niches as we name them internally. A couple of years back, we identified several niches, and one of them was hydrogen. And as an intermediate result of that work, we're having this event today. And one of the first government officials, it would not be possible without the huge support from certain people and companies. And one of the first government officials who understood strategic importance and possible benefits of our country and supported us along the way is His Excellency Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Almas Aydarov. So I would like to invite him to give an opening speech of our event. Almas Aydarov, please.
Thank you, Azamat, distinguished guests, dear ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for me to welcome all of you on the first Hydrogen Forum in Kazakhstan. And to tell the truth, it's also something new. We're all learning about the new hydrogen energy. And my story about the hydrogen, I just first heard about green hydrogen 2 years ago. And after, just clarify for myself different colors of hydrogen, what is it, how it's using, and new technologies. But now it's clear, especially for Europe, Europe it should be first flagman of this technology and the green technologies. And for Europe, it's clear now that if Europe want to be free from the carbon free 2050, it's impossible to cover itself by green energy. And the core issue is how to storage and transportation green energy, and because it should be imported something. And from that case, in our country, because we have a very strong wind, good quality of sun, huge territory, and we could be a leader and producer of the green hydrogen for the next decades. Except the green hydrogen, we don't see available a huge and technology to produce some green energy in the future and the nearest first and second decades. And it also provides us a good opportunity to be a leader of these new spheres. And it's a great pleasure for us that many companies now to enter in Kazakhstan, and we still don't have any regulation of hydrogen, any standards and rules in these spheres. That's why we have a lot of skepticism, because we are traditional oil and gas economic country. And of course, from that point, to tell the truth, all negotiations with the companies regarding the hydrogen, we started from president's level. Because the first person who believed to this technology is our president, because he has a very experienced view and feeling the international trends. And this is the first steps, and all what we want from this forum to be a unit our efforts to provide green hydrogen technologies and vision in Kazakhstan, because all these projects, it's to be necessary scaling. Without it, there is no economy in green hydrogen, and it's impossible to do one by one these projects. And I believe that our land plots, it's necessary to unite all the many companies from the different countries to develop the projects in Kazakhstan. And I just back from 1 month ago from the same forum in Barcelona, and Bloomberg placed Kazakhstan third place in the world, like a potential producer of green hydrogen. So not only we and worldwide and believe that Kazakhstan could be a huge producer of green hydrogen. That's why we are like pioneers in these spheres, should start our common work and to create, I don't know, the association and common units to help government to do right things, to do right regulatory rules, and to do easy this way, because it's clear for us that oil prices, high prices for oil, it seems to be the last 10-15 years. And green hydrogen, from that point, could be the second oil for our economy. So I wish you good luck, and it will be a long story, I believe. Of course, it will be not so easy, maybe so complicated way, but if we will be together, it will be much easier for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Almas Aydarullah. So let me remind you briefly. Our event will consist of 3 parts. First is signing ceremony of 3 documents in our panel session. The second one is lunch hosted by Linde, one of the top companies in the world within this industry. So we're inviting our panelists, our guests from different companies, oil and gas, energy companies that are here today with us. Third one is a roundtable among companies who's establishing Green Hydrogen Alliance of Kazakhstan and all other interested companies who would like to take part in this initiative or is considering to be involved in the green hydrogen movement. So let's start the first part. The first part is the signing ceremony. And our first one is signing ceremony among shareholders and creators of Green Hydrogen Alliance of Kazakhstan. We will be inviting by 2 companies for the first document. So let me invite Chairman of the Management Board of the national company Kazakhgas, Mr. Sanjar Jarkeshev. The second one, CEO of local office, Linde Gas Kazakhstan, Batyrjan Tergiusizov. Another signees, I invite Aynur Tumisheva, the CEO and Director of Investments from the RSU Renewable Energy Kazakhstan by Svevint Energy, Germany. Also, I would like to invite CEO of Green Finance Center, Aydar Kazabayev, AIFC. I would like to invite Marco Castanini, Green Spark Limited, Italy, and Baurjan Nakhanov, GSA Partners. Another company. I would like to invite Angel Buendia, Ajusa Hydrogen Technologies, Spain. And at the same time, I would like to invite a representative from Atasu Group Company, Kazakhstan. And our last signee, I would like to invite Karina Tsoy from Rödel & Partners, Germany. So now we would like to invite all the signees to have a group photo and to picture this historical moment. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, we have to adjust a little bit our program, and we have to give the first speech to the chairman of national company Kazakhgas, Mr. Sanjar Jarkeshev, with his presentation. I would like to ask our producers, guys, to start with the presentation of Kazakhgas.
So good morning, everybody. Thank you for accelerating the schedule because I have to leave for the HEC forum at the Samarkand. So HEC is the #1 priority for Kazakhgas national company. But I think today's event is a historical event, really. Thanks to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Aydarov is pushing this agenda. I think everybody who signed the document today will have a competitive first movers advantage. So hopefully we can push this industry. From Kazakhstan standpoint, obviously, as gas is a natural resource for pushing the blue hydrogen, obviously, but green hydrogen is a big deal for us as well. So as a national company, we would like to support, do whatever we can from our side so that this industry can succeed. But our agenda is in the energy security and energy transition. So I'll repeat some of the messages I gave this morning on the other session. But what's in it for Kazakhstas on this industry, on the hydrogen industry? But how we can help? But I think we can provide support for the transportation of the green hydrogen, and we've got the gas transportation system, the whole country's coverage. We are connected with the global network, and I think at the same time, green hydrogen can be used as an additive to the natural gas, so that we can boost our resource volume, right? So that's why Kazakhstas wants to be part of this story, and obviously provide as a national company maybe the administrative support and basically pitching this industry to the government. And also bringing some of the experts from the industry. We are connected with the international companies, and some of the companies presented today as well. And some of the trade and economic ties with other with countries, other national companies that are pushing hydrogen. So we're here to help. At the same time, we're going to push about the blue hydrogen. I know there are challenges with blue hydrogen in Europe because of the maybe unstable supplies of gas, but we're still interested in pushing blue hydrogen from our side. But green hydrogen, as we said, one of the best countries in the world is Kazakhstan for green hydrogen, and definitely Kazakhstas wants to be part of this story. We are diversifying our portfolio as well. So as a national company, we became the independent national company last year, thanks to the president of Kazakhstan. And the gas industry is getting a new push to develop, and this was a clever decision to make Kazakhstas a standalone national company. But if you think about our CO2 emissions trends, and it's a little bit alarming, because we've got the 2060 climate net zero goals, and if you look at today, we should be going downwards in our CO2 emissions, but it's the opposite. The CO2 emissions are actually increasing. We should be doing something about it so that we can meet at least the interim goal of 2030 on the CO2 emissions trends, right? And so that we can reach the net zero by 2060. So I think the renewables and especially the transition fuel gas must play their role to ensure we can deliver on our promises. The benefits of the carbon neutrality, where green hydrogen will play a significant role. Obviously, you know better than I do on the economic growth and national health, the international image. Obviously, in terms of the economic growth and international attracting investors, it's difficult to source finances without being green, being clean. And gas is a God-given resource which will be a bridge from dirty to clean fuel. And thankfully, Kazakhstan has vast amounts of gas, which is enough for more than 100 years, 3.8 trillion cubic meters of gas. That should be utilized to boost the energy transition and help green hydrogen economy to grow, to make it economic, right? So that's why I think the good tandem of natural gas and green hydrogen should be taken advantage of. And obviously, the national health, very important, especially reducing the carbon emissions. Kazakhstan is converting some of the thermal power plants, which are coal-fired in Almaty and other regions, to gas. That will help significantly to reduce CO2 emissions and make our nation healthier. If you think about the global energy mix, it's rapidly changing, and natural gas will play even more role. And we need to use this to basically push coal. At the same time, I'm not saying they could say no to coal completely. We know what's happening in Europe because of the crisis of the natural gas supplies, renaissance of coal industry. Germany is opening up, back up the coal mines, right? So it's about the energy security, right? And that's why we need to be very wise on using the coal, in a clever way, because Kazakhstan has, reserves of coal for hundreds and hundreds of years. So I'm not saying that we need to be, polluting and continue polluting, but we need to be clever in the energy security. We've got gas, we've got now kicking off the hydrogen industry, so we need to accelerate that and then say no to coal in a rapid way. But until then, we need to make sure we've got the basis for energy transition. So a lot of things are happening, and in the next 10, 15 years globally, and the trend, you can see that in the peak of gas demand will be in 2035. After that, it should decline. But if you look at Kazakhstan, by 2030, we should have about 25–30% of the electricity generation should be from gas. And you can see the blue color, the hydrogen there. And if you think about the significance, it's obvious, right? It's becoming quite significant. And at the same time, gas should be the replacer of coal here. So what do we need to do to ensure we've got enough gas to meet these objectives, right? But at the moment, these goals are quite risky, but we still have the commitment on the net zero. So we are transforming the national company, the gas industry in general, so that we can create more gas resources, so we can provide more volumes for the energy transition. But we talked about this morning as well that there's a lot of work being done by the government, especially on the net zero goal, the strategy for achieving carbon neutrality by 2060. It's going to be a very important document which will affect the whole economy. By the Ministry of National Economy, a great job is being done by the whole government. Ministry of Energy has just developed and approved a comprehensive plan for the development of the gas industry. It was a tremendous effort of the last 2 years. Kudos to the Ministry of Energy. And there is a concept for development of the fuel and energy sector until 2030. What's missing here is the national strategy, or the strategy of Kazakhstan of the gas industry. So we are working on that. And once we do that, we need to have an overarching energy security strategy. That means, we shouldn't be shooting ourselves in the foot by saying no to coal immediately. We need to be balanced. We need to ensure we've got enough gas so that we can protect our energy security and at the same time meet our energy transition goals. So this is the whole thing, and the whole idea, and Kazakhstan is volunteering its candidacy to be the coordinator of this strategic document. With the Foreign Investors Council, we've got a very big support from the members. When Kazakhstan would like to coordinate their work, obviously as a working body, the FIC can be a very strong expert in bringing expertise, because they've got subject matter expertise all over the world. And the First Deputy Prime Minister of Kazakhstan already coordinating their work on the improved model contract for the investors to make sure they're that they're interested in investing in Kazakhstan more. So this framework already exists. We just want to throw into the work the energy security agenda. And obviously Samruk-Kazna is doing a lot of work on ESG and on the energy security agenda as well. Minister of Energy, Minister of Ecology, and the AIFC, actually, with their green finance and all the efforts they're working with the international oil and gas companies, I think there is a huge synergy opportunity here. So that's it from my side. Final message: national company of Kazakhstan would like to provide support with whatever we can, and obviously realize their first movers advantage. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, dear ladies and gentlemen, let's continue. So now we will follow our standard program, and we would like to have a second, first of all, our guest from Spain. So let's continue with the signing ceremony. And the next document, the next one is signing of MOU for development of first filling station technology for hydrogen on the territory of the Republic of Kazakhstan between Green Spark Limited and Graph Industries SPA. Please, I would like to welcome Marco Castanini and Mr. Sorani. This is the first pilot project that I believe will be announced soon. Congratulations, gentlemen. And our final document will be signed in two countries between Hydrogen Task Force France, a special group that is focusing on development of green hydrogen in France, and Investment Task Force of Kazakhstan at Kazakh Invest and AIFC. Today we're signing it here in here, and later it will be signed in France at a different event on green hydrogen Paris. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And because we had to adjust, now we can officially start our panel session. And for the welcoming speech of our panelists, let me also invite one of the key stakeholders who support us along the way, and our chairman, my direct boss, chairman of national company Kazakh Invest, Mr. Mirjan Yusupov, please.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, warm welcome to the first hydrogen forum that was organized by Kazakh Invest team, Investment Task Force, and of course, which was also heavily supported by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and of course our friends at IAFC here, which fully support us and offer this wonderful panel platform to this first forum. Actually, the history or the story of green hydrogen at Kazakh Invest started roughly 2 years ago. Our internal task force, or at that time was few experts, started studying green hydrogen, and then right now we have a lot of work done, and we came to this stage where we can organize a forum at this level. Of course, huge work has been done, and along this work and during this period, we've learned that there are also kind of supporters and I would say, believers in this idea and non-believers, right? So that's why the idea of today's forum is to make every single stakeholder in our country be aware of this great theme about big theme, and we also learned that there are a big amount of interest on the side of large international players in terms of green hydrogen. So basically, we, as this forum, we have to first of all educate all those kind of non-believers, because in my in our view, the main how to say doubt is around the conventional energy companies. So basically, we believe that international companies that are sitting here will support us and bring their expertise and discuss the potential benefits of green hydrogen going forward. So, and this, I think this will be one of the big next steps for us, for all of us sitting in this room. And also, I would like to say special thanks to Linde, our partner of this session. Thank you very much. And overall, I would like to wish all of us a fruitful session for today. Thank you very much.
And let me invite also one of the supporters and our key shareholders, so to say, of Task Force Unit from AFC side, the Managing Director of AFC Authority, Nurlan Toyinbek.
Thank you, Azamat. Good morning, dear guests, dear distinguished speakers. It's a great honor for me to be present here today, and indeed, as just now Sanjar mentioned, we are presented on the First Movers event. This is the inaugural forum for green hydrogen story in Kazakhstan, and I believe in its future that here in Kazakhstan, with its vast territories and natural conditions, the development of green hydrogen is very possible and have a very bright perspective, I believe. Today, just now, we've been on the different session. Previous session was dedicated to energy and food sustainability. So this is the main topics of the future, and doing this first move today is the great fundament for the future projects and future achievements. And so in this regard, allow me to wish to everyone every success and good discussions today. And for AIFC, it's a great honor as well to be a part of this story. So you are most welcomed to visit all other sessions during the day of the Astana Finance Days. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, let's start our panel session with the first presentation on recent developments on green hydrogen in Kazakhstan, with the general presentation and overview. Let me invite our industry executive and the head of Green Hydrogen Division at Kazakh Invest, Mr. Ashat Bekenov, with his presentation. Please.
Good day, dear participants, dear speakers. I'm pleased to welcome you to the first Green Hydrogen Forum in Kazakhstan. I congratulate you on creation of the Green Hydrogen Alliance of Kazakhstan. I think you are and we on the right track. In frame of my short intervention, I want to talk on the important steps that were taken and will be taken to foster the development of green hydrogen, green energy, include development of green hydrogen in our country. As a part of development of new industry segments, Kazakh Invest is actively attracting investment in new green hydrogen industry. We truly believe that hydrogen and its green derivatives, such as ammonia and others, important component of sustainable energy policy and green hydrogen projects in Kazakhstan. Today, first of all, special attention is paid to the development of a green economy and the self-sufficiency of the Kazakh economy. The first step to follow green path was to set clear targets to decrease emissions in Kazakhstan. We accepted new strategy Kazakhstan 2050 and concept of transition to green economy 2030. These documents actually form for us indicators of green energy development. The first indicators were reached in 2020, 3%, and our ambitious target is to achieve 50% of producing green energy by 2050. Also, Kazakhstan signed Paris Agreement, and along with the Paris Agreement, it was announced that Kazakhstan plans to become carbon neutral by 2060 at the United Nations Summit on Climate Ambitions in December 2020. The doctrine is the first document of a long-term vision on potential for reducing greenhouse emissions in the country. It provides a set of key measures to reduce emissions and decarbonize the economy, such as the use of green hydrogen only. In the future, demand for hydrogen is expected to increase sharply due to its use in other industries, which will increase the demand, the volume of which by 2050 is currently estimated in fairly wide range from 300 to 800 million tons in the whole world. According to the data IRENA, by 2050, 30% of electricity used will be dedicated to green hydrogen production and its derivatives such as ammonia and methanol. If we talk about the cost of green hydrogen, it will continue to decrease below 1.5 USD per kilogram. The price reduction will be achieved through improved technology and economies of scale. As we know, green hydrogen is a fuel of energy transition. And given the ambitious goals of the European Union, we understand that the expected growth in the demand for green hydrogen will not cover domestic production. The demand for green hydrogen in the European Union in 2030 is estimated at 30 million tons annually. However, the planned green hydrogen production capacity by 2030 is only 6 million tons. According to an analysis by the German Energy Agency, Kazakhstan is one of the 8 countries with highest green hydrogen export potential in the world. To follow of green paths and production green hydrogen for our country became possible due to the great potential for the development of renewable energy. Wind energy has the greatest potential among all renewable energy sources in Kazakhstan. Around half of our territory has an average wind speed of about 5 to 6 meters per second. The greatest wind potential in the Atyrau and Mangistau regions, in the Caspian Sea area, and northern and southern Kazakhstan. Also, solar energy has a huge potential. Kazakhstan solar energy can produce about 2.5 billion kilowatt per year. Hydropower is the second largest renewable energy sources in Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan has an estimated potential of 170 billion kilowatt per year, of which about 62 billion kilowatt are technically feasible. If we talk about hydrogen projects being implemented in Kazakhstan under support of Kazakh Invest, today are about 7 projects, 5 of which are low power projects. There is projects at an early stage of implementation and 2 large GV projects. In conclusion, I would like to note that the roadmap for hydrogen energy development in the Republic of Kazakhstan for 2021 and 2025 was developed based on the review of international experience, analysis of strategies, and measures of the leading countries. The roadmap includes measures to study the possibility of introducing hydrogen energy in Republic of Kazakhstan, develop and improve the regulatory and legal framework, and develop human resources. There are also plans to develop hydrogen strategy of Kazakhstan, in which I think newly established Hydrogen Association will take an active part. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashat. Now, let me introduce our next panelist, Mr. Batırjan Tergiusizov from Linde. And I would like to emphasize that Linde is our general partner today and a sponsor of today's lunch. And generally speaking, a very good friend and ambassador of Kazakh Invest.
The one of the
Batırjan,
most
please.
important part, right? This is lunchtime. So thanks a lot, Azamat, and hello everybody. I'm really excited to be here today, and I'm so glad to see so many interested faces, not boring faces, which is very important. So, slides is arriving. Yep. Let's go. I'm trying to be really precise, sharp, and quick with presentation. And first of all, why we are here and why we are paying so many attention to such topic as clean energy and green hydrogen. So, as you probably know, the temperature of our atmosphere, of our climate is changing. And it's rising year by year. And all research is showing that is the main kind of footprint. This is our involvement in such changes. And I think that is our responsibility to change it. And the green hydrogen, the thing which can really help us with this. But how? It can be the real stock for the energy, for the renewable energy, which can guarantee the system reliance and can be used as a buffer. The green hydrogen can be the feedstock for the chemistry and other industrial production. Of course, it can decarbonize our transport. It's a mobility question. It's not only about the vehicles itself, but it's also the big trucks for the mining. We're talking about the buses, we're talking about the trains, and even airplanes. It also can help us to decarbonize the industry itself, which is using energy as a power source. It also can even help decarbonize the civil building heating. It's so many colors of hydrogen, and most probably you already know about the green one, which is our aim, it's our target, but it's also the gray and brown, it's also yellow and blue one. But it depends from the way of production, it depends of the carbon footprint and so on. But the green hydrogen means that it's hydrogen molecules produced by electrolysis process from the water using the renewable energy from the wind power, solar power, hydropower, etc. And we as Linde, the company which was established in 1889 by German scientist Carl von Linde, a great guy, really like beer. We have a huge experience with hydrogen, which is already decades. We start to operate some of our hydrogen plants in the mid of 20th century, which was not so popular, okay, about the green one, but we also have experience in all of the kind of colors of hydrogen. And it's showing here that we can be the partner for you in all type of production of hydrogen, starting from brown and ending with the green one. We have our in-house solutions to deliver hydrogen, we have our in-house solution to produce hydrogen, and we have our application solution to help you to utilize the hydrogen. For example, like hydrogen refuel station, which is more than 100 billion in Europe. We operate in Köln, in Cologne, in Germany, the network of refueling station, which is supporting civil transport there. This is all the way of producing, delivering, utilize of hydrogen here, and also some of the, I think it's, yeah, even the compression and liquefaction. Going further, I will stop on some application of hydrogen and how we can decarbonize our economy, I mean the worldwide economy. The hydrogen production with electrolyzers, it's a green one. It can be used to store electrons produced by renewable energy. It's a question about the infrastructure where we have a great experience and operate more than 1,000 kilometers of the pipelines. We have a network of refuel stations operated by ourselves, but also we supplying equipment for such stations. The carbon capture, utilization, and storage, also a very interesting question. I will stop a bit more about it later. And again, industry feedstock, this is when we can use the green hydrogen to produce, for example, ammonia and then fertilizers, which is a significant, important question, especially for Kazakhstan. About the industry feedstock, I already told about the ammonia. And when we have enough fertilizer here in Kazakhstan, it means that it's our food safety for our country. But important parts also is the steel production that utilize oxygen and hydrogen. We actually can decrease the carbon footprint to zero. And we already have a such kind of partnership with a steel company in Sweden. Few words about the network and infrastructure. So we are operating more than 150 steam methane reformers. So it's more about the blue hydrogen when we are capturing CO2 and store this, and we convert the gray hydrogen to blue one. We have already more than, I think it's already around 100 electrolyzers installed around the world. We have our in-house producer as a joint venture with ITM Power. We have a largest hydrogen liquefaction capacity in the world with 170 tons per day, so it's quite a lot, believe me. And again, we have some solutions to store and to distribute it. And again, Sanjar already from Kazakhstan mentioned that we had to have as a backup the coal solutions, but we also can keep in mind that we can utilize the carbon footprint from the coal power plants to capture and utilize CO2 from the exhausting of the coal power plants. So it means that it's of course not the best solutions, it's not the cheap solutions, but as a backup for the future, it can be utilized as well. One of the interesting things that we're talking so much about the CO2 as a bad thing, but actually we using CO2 in our daily life, in our medicine as well, and we have a solution how to capture and utilize it. So it's not just to store it somewhere, but to convert it to the product and to deliver, for example, to the greenhouses who is raising tomatoes. We have an operate network of delivering CO2 in Netherlands to supplying CO2 capturing from the production from industrial stock to greenhouses and help to really utilize the products which can be just evaporated there. The same solutions we have, for example, in North America, when we can increase debit of oil from Canadian part, delivering about 350 kilometers of captured CO2 from United States to increase oil production in Canadian company. So as I promised, I tried to be really fast and interested. And just as an end word, this is our responsibility for today to be successful tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Batyrjan. Now, our next panelist is a company that recently became a member of Foreign Investment Council. And it's one of our main strategic consultants in green hydrogen. Also, they produce hydrogen in Kazakhstan and improve technological process at our refineries. Let me introduce a very good friend of ours, Mr. Mathieu Francais Erlikit.
Thank you, Azamat. So, dear all, hello. I'm extremely pleased to be here with you today to focus on green hydrogen. I will not do a presentation, but I will give you today a testimony that it is happening, not in Kazakhstan yet, or at least today it's the first milestone, but in other parts of the world it is happening, and I will quote a few examples why it is a true story and is not just a dream or a miracle, this green hydrogen. But first, let me start with a thank you. I would like to start to thank our partner who accompany the Air Liquide journey in Kazakhstan over the last 10 years. We are working in Kazakhstan. First, Mr. Edarov, Vice Minister, thank you for your support. Mr. Yusupov, CEO of Kazakh Invest, thank you. Azamat, our dear friend, thank you for your continuous support. Without you, I would not be here today. Thanks again. As mentioned by some of the colleagues, so hydrogen is not new. It's not new. In our company, we are working on hydrogen over the last 50 years. So we do traditional use of hydrogen, like the one mentioned by Azamat in refinery. It's the so-called grey hydrogen. And you see a lot of application developing, like, for example, hydrogen as fuel for mobility. For those of you who have the chance to visit Paris, you can see a fleet of taxis who are driving with hydrogen. There are 500 taxis in Paris. It's called HYPE. There's also an Air Liquide logo on it. And we see that it's developing very well. Sorry for the microphone. So, actually, speaking about green hydrogen, I wanted to mention that there is one key topic for green hydrogen. I think it was mentioned by Askar, is the cost. So a lot of people think about green hydrogen, but they are afraid of the cost. And we tend to say grey hydrogen for refinery is €2 per kilo. When you do blue hydrogen, which was mentioned by the colleague from Kazakh Gas, it's €4, and green hydrogen, it's €6 per kilo. So you see 3 times more. That means if you produce this hydrogen and use it in a product, you need to recover basically this cost somewhere in your prices, in more product. You need to create a premium. So that's why Air Liquide, we believe, to make it happen, we need to work on the competitiveness of this business. And that's why we decided to invest in and to join, let's say, an alliance, a joint venture. We create a joint venture with Cement Energy, basically to focus on large electrolyzer and to develop ways to reduce the cost of the large electrolyzer for the future. We announced it 2 weeks ago, basically. And we have already a project we are working on, and we will create a factory in Berlin, which will produce this large-scale electrolyzer with a technology. I don't know if there are many engineers in the room, but we use the proton exchange membrane technology, which is a technology which is very flexible for an electrolyzer and especially suited for renewable energy. As you know, when you use wind or sun energy, the problem is you have variation of load, basically in terms of production. And with this PEM, so this membrane technology, you can produce with different load, with fast changes of the load of the electrolyzer. So that being said, so again, in my testimony, it's happening. We have 2 flagship projects we are working on, Air Liquide. It's, the first one is in France, no surprise. We have also the support from the French institution. There is a funding, a national funding. So it's a 200 megawatt electrolyzer. Just to give you, I don't want to throw not a lot of number, but 200 megawatt electrolyzer, it represents savings in CO2, which is equivalent to 4.4 billion kilometers driven by one truck. So you imagine, so it's really a big step. You saw some curve with the presentation before. So it's already happening. So this project is in design and will start in 2026. We have another project, by the way, maybe I should quote also the customer. So we have Exxon refinery with the customer. We will take this green hydrogen from this facility. We have another example in Terneuzen in the Netherlands. Same principle, large-scale electrolyzer connected to wind power. and we will produce green hydrogen. So that means, it is what I wanted to say today, it's happening. So we are Liquid, of course, we will be glad to bring our support to Kazakhstan and to enable the development in Kazakhstan. And we believe Kazakhstan, it was already mentioned, you have huge opportunity with the quality of wind, sun, and the space you have in the country. Now the challenge is to find, yes, the right partners and also the markets, basically, because, yes, you need to create some premium product who leverage on this green hydrogen. So thank you for your attention. We'll be very happy to take any question if you have some question after. Thank you.
Thank you, Mathieu. Our next speaker is going to represent another company from Europe, from Germany to be precise, and partially from Sweden actually, that put Kazakhstan on the global map among countries that are developing mega projects in green hydrogen. Please welcome Aynur Tumuşova.
Thank you. Dear ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the given opportunity to present to you our project HyRasia 1 that would be located in Mangistau region. It would be producing green hydrogen in gigawatt scale in millions of tons. So a little background on the Svevind Group, the company is working on this project. It's a privately owned group of companies from Germany with a 30+ years of professional experience in the renewables energy industry overall. Headquarters is still in Dresden, with the offices now in Germany, Sweden, and Kazakhstan. One of the flagship projects of the Svevind Group is a gigawatt-scale large wind farm in Arctic Sweden, Markbygden 1101. The overall capacity of the project is 3.4 gigawatt of green energy that would provide approximately 8% of entire Sweden's electricity consumption by 2026, when it will be fully commissioned. It's important to say it's a large gigawatt scale project that was fully financed and structured, and Svevind was responsible for attracting this investment of 2.8 billion euros. Now, why green hydrogen? There was a lot of presentations done already on the market demand, and I don't want to repeat exactly the same things. The main thing here is to achieve the net zero target by 2030. It already has been calculated. Approximately 100 million tons of annual green hydrogen production need to be done. And by 2050, that's even more ambitious, up to 800 million tons. Now, our project, HyRasia 1, would produce only 2 million tons annually to cover that market demand. This slide shows one of the, well, most majority of the announced green hydrogen large gigawatt scale projects in the world. And we're proud to state that as of today, our project HyRasia 1 is one of the most advanced and developed projects out of all 9. And it's important that if we combine all of those 9 mega gigawatt scale projects, plus some of the projects under 10 gigawatts, all of that combined would still not cover the market demand by 2030, which is approximately 100 million tons, yeah? Which already tells you what is going to be the demand, so where do you sell it? Now, coming to our project in Mangistau, it is designed to produce 30 gigawatt of green electricity, both wind and solar, to feed the 20 gigawatt electrolyzer facility. This would allow us to produce 2 million tons of green hydrogen annually, and if fully converted to green ammonia, that would be 11 million tons of green ammonia. So this scale of a large project would have a capex of 40 to 50 billion euros. Now, this would be fully attracted by Svevind with no governmental money or subsidies or co-financing. Given the track record from Sweden project, Svevind has good connection, good technical partners, good relations with the commercial institutions that would be willing to be part of the project. Now, distribution. Where to sell it, and how to get it there, right? One of the reasons why Kazakhstan and Mangistau in particular was chosen as a location for this project was because there's a few available routes and transportation, both international and domestic routes to transport the produced goods. First of them is either full hydrogen pipeline or pipeline blending it with LNG. That's an option, a feasible option potentially in the future. It can be shipped via Caspian Sea, both as a hydrogen or ammonia. If the final product is fully green ammonia, then it can be fully transferred by rail And all of those options are still being investigated. Let's be honest, this is early to make a final decision who to sell it to and how to transport it there. These decisions will be made alongside with the offtake contracts in the future, when we'll know who is the end customer, what are they demanding, and where do we need to get it to, and then, of course, the cost of it. And finally, last but not least, there's the potential of local market, if that market arises sometimes in the future, right? Svevint firmly believes that with such large-scale project, more international companies would come to Kazakhstan to produce more green goods using the green hydrogen produced in Mangistau. That's also an option. Okay, looking at the timeline. In green, you can see what have been done, and the gray, I'm sorry, and the green line shows where exactly we are at as of today. So a lot already has been done, but we do understand, we have a firm vision what needs to be done to achieve our goal and start the construction by 2026 of this large project. So what is the status quo as of today, currently? Firstly, vast amounts of land in Mangistau region have been secured for the project needs. Secondly, on the technical side, concept design study done by European offices of ILF and Rollenberger has been finished. Thirdly, the on-site investigation for wind and solar has started, as well as the permitting process in Kazakhstan in accordance with the new environmental code. There is ongoing negotiations with the potential off-takers and suppliers. And of course, we are on the final execution stage of investment agreement with the Kazakh government that would be the basis of the project realization for the next 2 decades, which is very important to us. And using this platform and using this opportunity, Svevint would like to express gratitude for the tremendous support it has received from the government of Kazakhstan on all levels, starting from the first Deputy Prime Minister, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Aydarov, entire team of Kazakh Invest and Task Force, Akimat of Mangistau region. It has been a tremendous journey for the last 12 months. And we plan to stay and work so closely from now on as well. And we welcome all of the potential industry players and all other companies who are interested in cooperating with us, who are open to speak. And last but not least, we're looking for the day when we will be able to deliver first ton of green hydrogen produced in Kazakhstan to a world market. Thank you very much.
God willing, it will happen. God bless this project, a very interesting case, to be honest. Thank you, Ainura. Our next speaker is representing an international company that is heavily involved in the development of green hydrogen around the world. Mr. Askar Amanbay from Bureau Veritas will share with us their vision. Please.
Good morning, good afternoon, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a pleasure to be here to witness establishing of a new industry in Kazakhstan. There were many words regarding the previous works done in other countries, in Kazakhstan, and it's really great that such a mega trend, which is hydrogen, is going to be established in Kazakhstan. At the same time, I would like to focus particularly my topic on the risks which can be associated with each and every project. There are legal risks, there are financial risks, there are technical risks, and I would like to mention about how we can de-risk such a value chain for tomorrow's clean energy. As an international company, Bureau Veritas is also not staying away from this process. We are doing our contribution to such projects. We have commitments, and our experience, expertise, value which we can add to the projects can show based on our international experience all over the world. We all know that Europe now is a locomotive of such hydrogen, green hydrogen, and the scale of such projects. So now we can see, based on our international experience, based on our best understanding, that 90% of a global GDP, what we mean by this global GDP, it means that around halfly of, 44% is given to the countries, it's around 20 countries, who is leaders in terms of GDP, and they already have established policies in terms of hydrogen development. And another 44% or 46% is going to the countries who are going to develop such initiatives all over the world. We may see that in some countries strategies are available, in some countries strategies are under preparation. Global energy demand supplied by hydrogen, we may see that from now, as mentioned in previous presentations, that we are on the initial step, initial phase by 2050, taking into account carbon neutrality things, taking into account commitment of Kazakhstan, of other countries. We're going to increase it by 7-10 times, it's at least, and by 20 times as a maximum. At the same time, we shall understand that the risks associated with hydrogen, which is its cost, it's not like a fossil fuel-based source. So we need to understand that hydrogen shall be kind of really focused, really concerned in detail. On the next slide, you may see value chain or life cycle of the projects, which is starting from production based on, as it is, green hydrogen based on renewable energies such as solar, wind. Risks associated on this stage is the pressure equipment, explosive atmosphere conditions, which is, I would say, it can be in some industries already matured. In Europe, there are pressure equipment directive. In other countries, there are another strategies, another policies. So on the next step, next phase of the storage, it is appraisal of underground storage, depleted gas fields, salt caverns, storage tank limitations. So it's kind of also totally giving big concern, big risks to the project of implementation. Transportation, again, as it is already established infrastructure, especially in Kazakhstan, we have natural gas pipelines who has already established ways, routes to other countries, to China, to Russia, to European markets. But at the same time, we understand that hydrogen cannot be fully supplied through such systems. So here we'll need to make a pipeline losses analysis, adjustment, purity analysis, and so on. And usage as the end users, there are also concerns related to the origin of the fuel, origin of how we can prove that particularly hydrogen is green or not blue or not gray. So there is also concerns. So conformance of engines, fuel cells, classification of ship propulsion, it's like all given some concerns to us. So this is like a sum up of traditional solutions across project life cycle or H2 value chain. There are, as I mentioned, already matured risks which kind of already discussed, established solutions well known to the stakeholders. H2 quality, it's now in the world we see, based on our experience, it is on a pilot phase. And on early phase, there are questions on its origin, project labeling. So industrial risks like supporting carrying out risk studies to control the design of the systems or products, analysis of regulatory compliance, defending of applicable regulations on projects, technologies. As I mentioned, there are European well-established procedures, policies, and strategies, directives, ATEX, PED, machine. So all this, like given as a risk related to hydrogen projects. Going to the next slide, I just wanted to say that in Bureau Veritas, based on our experience all over the world, we have projects on different steps, on different stages, supporting to our clients, supporting to the key stakeholders, including private companies, including state authorities, including other involved parties to the project. So here is the compliance, safety, quality performance, sustainability, traceability. On the last one, I'll go to a bit later on the next slide. The risk assessment, like it is kind of standard technique with regards to the hazardous identifications, hazards operability, quantitative, qualitative risk analysis. It can be a solution as an initial stage for mitigate such risks. Definition of safety critical elements, because hydrogen, again, is related to the pressure vessels. There shall be also particular dedication to such aspects as safety critical elements. And we're all aware that certification schemes in the world are either on development stage or in its initial stage, and there is no international well-established statutory schemes. Despite there are some organizations, companies, they have kind of non-obligatory schemes, which is based on revision of compliance, revision of safety, performance, and so on. So generally, it's like a given, like a certification execution. And by this, we can exclude or mitigate risks related to the project development, project implementation. There are 4 quality criteria to be assessed to validate the carbon footprint calculations. First of all, it is completeness check based on the calculations, based on some forecast of the technological aspects. There are consistency check, there are sensitivity check, uncertainty analysis, and so on. Having mentioned about Bureau Veritas as an international partner or international stakeholder who can be involved in such projects, we have our already established, prepared, I would say, already good connections in terms of partnership with international organizations, with ISO. We are active member and key in a key international working groups, which is ISO TC Technical Committee 197, Working Group 34, related to safety requirements. Before it was mentioned that HSE, for us, it's really great concern, and we shall particularly put on this our efforts. Safety is the first. We are also in contribution to new revision of ISO 22734. So I just want to mention that there are lack of standardization in terms of its adaptation to the local realia, and we shall also, all stakeholders shall make efforts on this part. Last but not least, I would just, what I mentioned before, that regulatory drivers for certificate value, it's very important to understand is the hydrogen is green or not green, or it is blue or it is gray. So here there are developed some procedures, voluntary schemes. In Europe, again, it is red certification, which was implemented just recently in April 2022. Value in added certificates. So there are such obligations with regards to RFNBO, which is renewable fuel non-biological origin in transport, reduction of GHG intensity and consumption. So I just wanted to conclude my presentation that as each project related to industry, there are some risks, especially related to technical aspects. So our hard work is expected in the future, and let's just put our efforts, like making partnership between companies with state authorities. It will give, I believe it will give great efforts in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. I know everybody is hungry, but we have got a couple of presentations left, so just let's bear for a couple of minutes. And our next panelist is one of the top experts in green finance in Kazakhstan, and maybe even one of the founding fathers of green finance in our country. CEO of Green Finance Center at AIFC and the founder of ESG Club, Mr. Aydar Kazabayev. Please.
Dear participants and guests of our session, today our session participate His Right Honorable House of the Lord, Lord Baron Daniel Brennan. Please let us welcome standing. Thank you, Lord. I'm pleased to meet you on our session about creating Green Hydrogen Alliance, Kazakhstan. And thank you, Task Force, IFC, and Kazakh for organizing this bright session. Who we are? Let me introduce our team. Present time, I represent not only Green Finance Center, but all the IFC family and Kazakhstan financial institution in the Kazakhstan Green Hydrogen Alliance. IFC Green Finance Center. We was established as a development institute for sustainable finance in Kazakhstan and Central Asia. The main goal of the Green Finance Center is to introduce and develop sustainable finance instruments and attract investment into green projects and social projects, not only for Kazakhstan, all region for Central Asia. Over the years, GFC has become the only company in Central Asia accredited by the Climate Bond Initiative as an approved verifier by the International Capital Market Association and the London Stock Exchange as external review provider for green and social bonds. 60% of green bonds and loans in Kazakhstan have been verified by IFC Green Finance Center. GFC is also the regional office of Green Investment Principle for Belt and Road in Central Asia and supporting Bank of Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan to move to green investment standards. Now, GFC is ranked first in Central Asia and Eastern Europe according to the Global Green Finance Index. GFC has 3 subsidiaries company: Green Technology Hub, Eurasian Environmental Fund, and GFC Bishkek. GFC will open for Green Hydrogen Alliance, Kyrgyzstan's and other Central Asia market for its services through subsidiary GFC Bishkek. As for Green Technology Hub, Green Tech Hub, with the support IFC will host a regional trading platform, IREC, green certificates. Also, Green Tech Hub can partner with the Green Hydrogen Organization to promote the green hydrogen standard in Kazakhstan among the companies and organizations. The next slide. So, Kazakhstan will play an important role in decarbonization, providing energy to the rest of the world. According to independent research, the country is among the top 10 countries in the term of green hydrogen export potential. The IFC infrastructure can offer a wide variety of financial investment solutions within the Green Hydrogen Alliance. First of all, IFC ecosystem can support through its major platforms with GFC acting as single window for interaction with IFC in general. GFC can provide full advisor support for issuance of green bonds and loans for green hydrogen projects. Also, GFC could offer verification of projects for compliance with the green taxonomy and green financial instruments for compliance with the ICMA and CBI standards. GFC also provides ESG consulting and reporting service in addition to other advisory services for hydrogen producing companies. External review and verification is our main key service for us, and GFC helps green bond and green loans issuers throughout the whole process, starting from investor search, project screening, project structuring, sourcing best legal and advisor support for bond issuance of the best terms, and developing green finance policies and frameworks. Present time we have two licenses like business consulting and legal consulting. Yesterday, on June 28, during Astana Finance Days, a national ESG club was established as part of the Green Growth Forum, and we are pleased that a large number of companies, 19 economy leaders, Kazakhstan supported our initiative and will build the ESG business platform. It is gratifying that our largest banks, leading industrial companies, as well as organizations involved in sustainable development are among the founders of the club. I believe that we established National ESG Club, and it's a great opportunity to unite joint efforts of the National ESG Club and Green Hydro Alliance and establish a clear interaction with the ESG Club. For instance, one of the joint activities could be ESG Global Forum that is to be conducted in October 2022 on months prior to the COP COP27 Global Conference. There we can offer the common agenda and show the project we worked on. We could position the coming ESG Global Forum as a joint project of National ESG Club and Green Hydrogen Alliance. On this note, I conclude. I would like to thank you for your attention and looking forward to our suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're about to finish in 10 minutes. In this regard, let's keep on going. Our next speaker is actually representing another interesting case that we hope will be announced in the coming month in green hydrogen developments. Green Spark Company, Marco Castanini, please. The floor is yours.
Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much to having us here and to be here today. And congratulations to all partners of our new association. I really hope will help us in this challenge we have in front of us. So I'll try to be very fast and pass a few of the most important messages that we want to deliver today and in the next future years, let's say, with our project. So we have designed a hydrogen valley concept for Kazakhstan. When I say for Kazakhstan, it's because we are in Kazakhstan since 20 years. We work in oil and gas for 18 of these 20 years, and then we decided to convert to green economy. So now we are developing renewable energies, and with that, green hydrogen. So let me see. Okay, this is the target. So we want to save carbon emission. All of us, we want that because world is boiling, and like this we cannot continue. So we know we have to do that. And why hydrogen? Hydrogen is good, it's not bad. It's a good form of energy. is density of energy. Sorry, we are engineers, so sometimes we go to the technical point. So the content of energy of hydrogen is higher than sweet gas. So it's good for every use we want to do it. And is much higher than batteries, at least of the technology of today. So we will see if our friends of battery energy storage will do a better job in future. And the demand that is growing, everybody focus on that. The demand is growing because the solution is viable. The solution makes sense. Is economically viable. Technically, hydrogen is known since many years. You heard colleagues from Linde, Air Liquide, they know this gas since many, many years. So we know how to handle it. And this is what we are doing today. So in a couple of months, let's say August, if transportation will not be further jeopardized by international situation, we will have the first molecule of green hydrogen in Kazakhstan. And we'll be in the western city of Aksai. Why Aksai? Because, as I said before, we worked 20 years in oil and gas, so we have our production and research development center there. This will happen thanks to, let's say, two phases. The first phase is the first molecule, and it was 6 months, will be 8 months, sorry for that. And the second phase is a commercial project that we have designed, and we have proposed to two very big stakeholders of Kazakhstan that are interested to take our solution. Our solution basically is to give a turnkey solution for our client. So we don't want to sell hydrogen, we sell a solution. And the solution is green mobility. We offer a fleet of hydrogen-propelled vehicles within 1 year. So to do that, we will have our necessary contribution of graph technology that was, today we signed a memorandum for the station, and the company Hydrogen, that is a startup, because green hydrogen is very new as a technology, from Italy, and that give us the electrolyzer. So we decided to use the electrolysis technology, but we can use also proton exchange membrane or anion exchange membrane. We have all three technology in our portfolio. So this solution will abate the famous carbon emissions. And this is our facility. So the first molecule project you will see is a small one. So we are not talking about tons, but kilograms. and this will help us to solve all problems that our colleagues here will have in future, and that our colleagues from BV already highlighted. Legislation. How we can drive a fuel cell vehicle in Kazakhstan? We cannot. So we want to do that. Safety protocols. Now we treat hydrogen like sweet gas that is highly explosive. Hydrogen is not. So why we are doing so? Please help us to reduce the safety protocols. We reduce the cost, for example. No? And Mr. Mathieu highlighted very well. Green hydrogen today is more expensive also for these reasons. So we need to solve that. This is our mission. So we want to produce green hydrogen, not in the amounts that you heard earlier, because we believe also Kazakhstan is a very big country. If we want to put a station in a small city, we need a capillary production, because transportation of hydrogen is expensive, is very expensive, and storage also. So if we want to use it in, I don't know, Chepayev, 20,000 people, we need a station there and production there. Assembling of equipment. We want to localize the technology. We want to be capable to do it from here, because we don't want to be a slave of international market, let's say, caprice, and that tomorrow one component cost, like it happened this year, 20,000% more. And integrated solution. Today is green mobility and blending with the sweet gas. We have a cogeneration system that we are using for experimenting on this. So this is the area. You see, this is when I came in Kazakhstan in 2002, this was green grass. Now it's desert. This is also something we have to think about it. So you can see the details there, but I'm going very fast to help the maybe further conversation on question and answer. So basically, the project is ready, facilities installed, green energy production is ready, cogeneration system is operative, everything is operative. We wait just the electrolyzer, and we delayed a little bit because, as I said before, for transportation issues, and I think in August we'll be ready. Assembly of equipment. So we have here the two main pieces that, let's say, we focus today. We want to do step by step, let's say, the electrolyzer and the dispensing unit. So the electrolyzer, we have hydrogen that is producing up to 1 megawatt. So 1 megawatt is enough for, let's say, 100 buses, something like that. And the dispensing unit is from our partner Graph, that they developed not only this technology, but all the compression system is developed by them. But the dispensing unit is the most visible part of the installation. Graph has a lot of experience in Russia, in Uzbekistan, and the surrounding countries, so they know our norms and standards, so I hope that will be a great help for us to be immediately operative. And this is just a picture of what we want to make it in Kazakhstan. So we want to assemble the equipment here that potentially our colleagues of the association will install in bigger project that definitely will happen in Kazakhstan. Okay, and this is also what I was mentioning before. You see, 1 kilogram of hydrogen is making 60 miles. 1 gallon of, okay, is American gas, petrol, 25 miles. So we are talking about hydrogen is more expensive, but is doing more for our vehicles. So the comparison between the cost of 100 kilometers of diesel, let's say, and 100 kilometers by hydrogen is not that far already today. So we are not that far. We are very close to that. We need an encouragement. We need maybe not taxes on hydrogen, please, because this will be killing us. This is the schematic of the station that we are going to establish in Aksai. Technical details, of course, will be available. Basically, it will be 1.5 megawatt of solar arrays and 150 kilogram of green hydrogen. It's conservative. Probably will be double than that, but we have experimented this year our production in Aksai. We have 1 year of real data, and our model is working. We have a 2%, let's say, discrepancy between design and effective data. And then we have our station. The CO2 emission will be saved 37,000 tons in 10 years, just for transportation for this small project. So this is the number that green hydrogen can give to us. And these are these green stars. Is where Green Spark is now proposing the same solution. Unfortunately, let's say in Kazakhstan only 3 locations, but we have a lot of demand in Italy, in Egypt, in Oman. Now we are discussing Emirates, Saudi Arabia. Because it seems that our solution to provide, let's say, small, medium solution, but already ready for the end user that doesn't need, let's say, too much of thinking for our clients, is attractive. So I hope that will be also in Kazakhstan. We are, like I said, here since 20 years, so we hope that for another 20 we can contribute to the association here to develop green hydrogen in Kazakhstan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marco. Our next speaker is the CEO of Kazakhstan branch, Fortescue Future Industries, Mr. Nicholas Pomeroy. Please, the floor is yours.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It's wonderful. Thank you very much, firstly, to the Kazakh Invest team for arranging this important forum today. And for me personally, it's wonderful to see so many people here today, hopefully sharing the same vision as we do at Fortescue, that green hydrogen is the future. We don't have much time today, obviously, but if there's one thing that you can take away from today, take away this. The planet that we're living on is cooking. And only green hydrogen is the practical, implementable solution to stop this climate change. Remember that and take it away with you, please. So, in terms of who we are, so we're different than everyone else on the panel today. So we're both a producer of green hydrogen and also a consumer of green hydrogen. And our parent company is Fortescue Metals Group, one of the largest mining companies in the world, proudly based in West Australia. And Fortescue Future Industries was created with a vision of our chairman, Dr. Andrew Forrest, who realized that the planet is cooking, and we have to do things quickly to stop this change in the climate. And what he's done is we formed this company, Fortescue Future Industries, primarily to decarbonize our mining business. And the vision is to decarbonize that business by 2030. Now that's quick. We're a big company, we're a dirty mining company, and to decarbonize by that time, it requires a lot of action and a lot of money to fund it, and we're doing that. I think as well, it's quite important as well, there's lots of talks of different types of hydrogen. You've heard a few people talking about it already today. But I want you as well to know what is hydrogen and what is particularly green hydrogen, because you'll hear clean hydrogen, green hydrogen, and then we'll also talk a little bit about a standard that's just been released globally to define what is green hydrogen. So I think most of you know that hydrogen is the most abundant element on Earth. And critically, it's got a very high energy content per unit weight, so it's a fantastic fuel. And as people have said on the panel today, it's been looked at for many, many years, but obviously with the dependency on fossil fuels, that's been the driving force until now, when we face this existential crisis with climate change. Green hydrogen. So green hydrogen is only produced from renewable energy sources. That's solar, wind, hydropower, and geothermal. Some people refer to nuclear power as being green. Forget it. There's only 4 renewable energy sources that define green hydrogen, and these are the 4 here. How do you make green hydrogen? Well, there's 3 simple elements. Obviously, first you have the renewable energy source. Then you need water. And it's not just tap water that you can get from your home and drink. It needs to be demineralized water, so you can't use standard water for this. It has to be treated. The other element, as has been mentioned before, is the electrolyzer. So the electrolyzer splits the hydrogen and the oxygen atoms, giving you the hydrogen to use as a fuel, and the oxygen just goes into the air. So 100% clean and totally renewable. To make ammonia, another derivative of hydrogen that we're using extensively with our industry, you simply add nitrogen. So it's a wonderful product. It's clean, it's a fantastic fuel, and it will be the future. 10 years' time, you'll hear nothing of any other hydrogen. It'll be green hydrogen is the future for us. Lots of applications you can use around the world. It's going to drastically reduce global emissions, and we have to start now. It's not something we can think about in 10 years' time, because these projects, as you heard, they take a long time. We can't afford to wait. We have to work now at developing these projects. We'll be able to use green hydrogen for industrial processes, for marine applications, for residential and community heating, particularly useful here in Kazakhstan, and replacing some of the hydrogen feedstock that's used in some of the process industries today. Now, this is another important development that's happened recently. So as Mr. Aidarov mentioned earlier, at the Global Green Hydrogen Conference that we attended last month, a very important milestone in the development of green hydrogen was reached, and that was the creation of a green hydrogen standard. So this will define what green hydrogen is worldwide moving forward. And the important thing was this, is that the whole life cycle of the green hydrogen project, from the production of green hydrogen through to the use, has got to have at least close to 0 emissions as possible. What does that mean? So if you're producing if you have a green hydrogen production plant and you're using thousands of wind turbines, if those wind turbines have been produced or manufactured using fossil fuel power, it's not green. So this is what we're defining with this standard, and there's very important ESG applications here as well. The social, the governance is very important. Anti-slavery is very important to this standard as well. And we're promoting this to make this the standard for green hydrogen worldwide. It's a 25-page document, so it's a serious technical document that's been produced, and we would encourage you to look at this and to understand the technology a little bit more. So more about FFI. So as I said, we're decarbonising. The prime goal of our company is to decarbonise the Fortescue Metals Group business. And we're doing some amazing research and development and implementation of projects here. And we're investing billions into this, into our research and technology. These trucks that you can see here, these are very common trucks on mining sites. So we're developing battery technologies for zero emissions for these trucks. We're also looking at converting these trucks to ammonia fuel. So potentially we've got autonomous trucks working on our sites running on ammonia fuel 24/7. We are looking at hydrogen fuel cell drilling rigs, so the mining drilling rigs we use, converting those to hydrogen fuel cells. Locomotives, so we have huge locomotives in Western Australia, or in Australia, that are 2 kilometres long, 3 kilometres long, and we're converting those locomotives to ammonia fuel. It's easy and simple solutions that could easily be implemented for any locomotive worldwide. We're also converting a ship to run on green ammonia. So we have very large ships that transport our iron ore products to China. We have hundreds of ships that are working on a daily basis. And by the end of this year, we will have our first ship, it's an offshore support vessel, converted to green ammonia. The first ship in the world that will be running on green ammonia. Also, we're looking at green metals as well. So green metals is a fantastic solution, which is very applicable to Kazakhstan. So we know that in Kazakhstan there's plans to build some new iron ore plants, steel facilities. Don't do it. You're going to be investing money for a project that's 30 years in the future. Look at green technologies to implement those solutions. So green steel, green copper. Green copper is another solution. So this technology exists already. This is not new. This is not an invention. It just requires application. We're also involved with some very groundbreaking projects and alliances. We have signed an alliance with Airbus, the airplane manufacturer, to provide, to decarbonize the aviation sector and provide green hydrogen for planes. So hopefully in the next few years you'll see green hydrogen planes flying around. Maybe Air Astana can purchase some of those planes at some point. As I mentioned, the research and technology is extremely important. This is very critical to developing these technologies and moving forward. And we've recently acquired Williams Engineering, a British engineering company that's part of the Williams Formula One team, to work on as part of our company and develop these technologies and help us decarbonize our mining company. We've also developed what we're calling a zero-emission infinity train. So essentially using regenerative braking. It uses zero energy for its whole life. It sort of charges itself up going down the hill and uses that energy to drive itself up the hill as well. So these are fantastic, these are real solutions. This is not visionary. This is real applications that are happening today. And we're also building the world's largest electrolyzer facility. So to support all this green hydrogen, we need lots of electrolyzers. So the construction is underway for the world's largest electrolyzer facility in Western Australia. And that should be available or underway or producing later this year, early next year. The important thing is as well, and this is why this Green Alliance is extremely important, is the whole energy transition is so big and so immense. Whilst we're pushing ahead as a company, we can't do it alone. So we formed many alliances globally with leading companies to help this transition to green hydrogen. Clearly, with universities and academic institutions, we're working closely on research and development there. We have some smaller hydrogen companies that are working in the market. We're acquiring some of those companies as well. We're working with them to develop startups, etc. And some of the world's leading industries we're partnering with to help them transition towards the green hydrogen. Not on this list, and some of you may have heard as well, we've recently signed an agreement with the huge energy company in Europe, E.ON, to supply 5 million tons of green hydrogen within the next few years. That's one of the biggest deals globally, and that's going to help to Europe to move towards a hydrogen-based fuel economy. And we've also, as with JCB and also recently with Liebherr, one of the large equipment manufacturers as well, we've signed a very big deal with them recently to decarbonize the vehicles for mining industries. So as I say, it's not something that any one company can do on their own. We have to work together in this. We have to partner, use global information, global knowledge to support the development in each country. Look forward to working with the other panelists at these developments for Kazakhstan. And yeah, thank you very much for your attention, and very happy to speak to you afterwards if you have some more questions.
Thank you, Nicholas. Quite impressive.
Thank you.
Our next speaker has arrived yesterday especially for this event from Spain. Even though we notified at a very short notice, he arrived and he is here with us today. Their company is studying our market and considering to develop a business case in the production of green hydrogen maybe. Mr. Ángel Buendía, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. Well, thank you for the panelists, for your speakers. And well, I prepared some small speech. We are a 50 years old Spanish company that began studying hydrogen technology 18 years ago, starting with fuel cells, being a big match in our country and the only ones to carry out the entire manufacturing process in Spain, from the stack to the integration inside vehicles. At the same time, we are pioneers in the construction of a hydrogen refueling station in Spain. We started 10 years ago, which has served many vehicles in our country, capable to refill with 350 bars of pressure. And this year, we are going to extend to 700 bars. Among the different projects that we are currently working on is the 20 kilowatts fuel cells, which will act as a range extender for an electric truck, increasing its autonomy from 200 kilometers to 500 kilometers. Our goal is to reach at the end of 2024 a fuel cells with a power of 100 kilowatts. All right. Nowadays, we want to continue advancing with the hydrogen economy. To do this, the division that I lead is dedicated to green hydrogen generation as well as its plant energy control. We are going to build at our facilities in Spain a pilot plant for the green hydrogen generation through a PIM technology electrolyzer, which will generate enough hydrogen for us to test our fuel cells manufacturing production. The electricity supply will be thanks to the surplus electricity of our factory from the self-consumption solar plant that we are building on land together our factory in Spain, and which has a power of 2 megawatts, and sorry, we will possibly expand to 1 megawatt more in the future. At the same time, we are going to use the rainwater collected on the roof of our factories to produce the hydrogen, and being, in this way, more sustainably with the environment. In this sense, all the hydrogen will be produced when there is a surplus of energy in the plant to later store it 30 bar pressure tanks and consume it by our fuel cells. The idea is having the plant finished in 2024 in order to test our 100 kilowatts fuel cells and to export the idea to another countries like Astana, for example. The clear objective of AJUSA is to be sustainable business park based on renewable energies from the sun, water, and of course green hydrogen, in such a way that we want to demonstrate that another model of energy management is possible, and therefore we believe that green hydrogen is very important for this. It is the sense that AJUSA wants to close the circle of green hydrogen, born its generation and its subsequent use in the fuel cells that also manufactures. Thank you again for all, and see you.
Thank you very much. And now we have a last speaker. We were supposed to be joined by a managing partner of a German consulting legal company, Rödel & Partners, who is one of the co-founders of Green Hydrogen Alliance. But he could not join us today. So on his behalf, Karina Tsoy, a member of their team, will be sharing their presentation.
Уважаемые дамы и господа,
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, partners, I'm very happy to greet you on behalf of our company, on behalf of our partner in Central Asia, who is now in Germany at the working group meetings on renewable energy, and I will talk about them in a nutshell a little bit later. Riedel Partners is a leading German consulting company, and as our partners joke, for good or for bad, among all the federal lands, Bavaria is more associated with Germany. We were created 50 years ago in Nuremberg in our head office, and what our major principles and how we are different from other consulting companies. These are the three approaches. First is the interdisciplinary criteria for services. We service our clients on all types of services from one-stop shop. So a client can receive both legal and tax consultations. We also hold audit and outsource of accounting services. Second principle that makes us different from other consulting companies, this is interdisciplinary, comprehensive approach. Here you can see geographical locations of our company. These are the Southeast Asia and all Europe and CIS. In Central Asia, we are represented in Almaty from 2009 and in Uzbekistan, Tashkent from 2019. What is our third characteristic is the specialization on renewable energy. We consult project designers and investment projects. We consult operators of different power plants, energy system companies, and other companies. Out of marketing tools that Riedel holds on the global level, we should note 4 platforms. REN-RX platform, this is an exchange platform between potential clients. Snarenda as well. Quarterly, we publish our news on different relevant topics related to renewable energy. And on the global website, we have a country overview on Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. We also publish market analysis in renewable energy. Here on the slide, you can see that in the renewable energy, the company can provide comprehensive consultations on all types of services. Our approach also is based on 4 bases. We consult on legal framework. We help clients in funding. We calculate budgets, estimate risks, and profitability of renewable projects. I can summarize by saying that we should say that at the global level, Riedel Partners is the strategical partner of Hydrogen Union in Bavaria. And if you see that on the website, there will be a big number of German and other European companies who are members of this association. In Central Asia, we implemented more than 10 projects in renewable energy. One is the biggest ones is a solar power plant in Karaganda Oblast. So this is it. Here you can see our contacts. Michael Quering is our partner, and Kai Imolar is our partner in the working group.
Panel session is over, and now we would like to invite all panelists, special invitees of today's event, Chevron, Eni, Total, NCOC, KPO, KMG, Arcelor, ERG, S-System, Condor Petroleum, Toyota Tsushi, Samruk Kazna, Tauken, KPMG, Deloitte, and all other industrial companies to join our lunch, which is sponsored by Linda. And basically, the location is upstairs, second floor. You can actually make a round, and there will be stairs, and you will find that place. Let's meet there, let's chat about this and that, and after that, we will have a round table at the Boston meeting room. All companies that would like to join, would like to become a member of Hydrogen Alliance, or are considering developing or have a presence in this industry, please welcome. We will introduce you, and we will talk more about green hydrogen. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.